Sometimes when you're trying to do the right thing,
I felt like my hands were tied. There was nothing I could do. These guys were bullying me.
you need a little extra help.
You can't do anything, and I've seen that Contract 7's always been helpful.
So you were charged $5,700 for a cup of coffee.
And at Contact Denver7,
Are you overcharging people?
we're getting results.
Oh, hold on, I'm getting a call from them right now.
Welcome to this special edition of Contact Denver7 Getting Results. I'm consumer investigator Jaclyn Allen. Contact Denver7 is our pledge to you to find answers, solve problems, and get results. It's our job to be watchdogs and a voice for those who aren't being heard. For the next 30 minutes, let's take a look at how Contact Denver7 is getting results in our community just this year. We take on problems large and small. So let's start with a cup of coffee. An Aurora woman ordered a latte and was charged more than $5,000 for it. It was a mistake, a simple refund, right? But it turned into a 2-month account-draining nightmare until she reached out to Contact Denver7 for help. Not a morning goes by
Every single day.
that Lisa Angelo doesn't regret a cup of coffee she ordered on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, I went to the Gaylord with an out-of-town guest so that we could go and take her children ice skating.
It was supposed to be a holiday treat, but the next week, she got an alert from her bank.
I have never had an insufficient funds fee before. I'm very, very careful with what money is in there, how I pay my bills.
At first, she thought it was fraud. Then she noticed the charge.
So you were charged $5,700 for a cup of coffee.
Yes, I realized that 570,570 was the dollar amount put in twice.
That's an expensive cinnamon dolce latte.
That's a trip to Paris cinnamon dolce latte.
What should have been a simple refund
January 8th, January 22nd,
has become call after call,
March 9th, March 10th.
trying to get this resolved for more than 2 months. Her records show the Gaylord admitted the mistake in January, claiming they refunded the money. Her bank, USAA, doesn't have it. At first, USAA gave her a credit for the $5,700, but took it back out of her account last week.
You're caught in the middle.
I am caught in the middle. No one has my back and no one's listening. I want my money returned to me.
So, Contact Denver7 ordered some coffee at the Gaylord and started asking questions. Why did this charge not raise red flags for either company? They would not speak on camera, but in a statement, USAA says they are working with the merchant to resolve this issue.
Within a couple of hours from you contacting them, I received money back into my account as a provisional credit. So I'm actually back into the black where I can pay my bills.
Lisa just doesn't want to think about her $5,000 cup of coffee every morning. The only refill she needs is for her bank account.
And it doesn't even matter whose fault it is anymore. I just want it rectified. I want it made right.
We do have an update on this story. Lisa tells me after we made calls, USAA and the Gaylord worked together and finally resolved this. And the Marriott is now compensating her for her coffee and her trouble.
Okay, ready?
Carrie Armstrong's dog loves playing in the backyard. So does her husband.
We're very pleased with how the landscaping looks.
But not everyone in Broomfield's Anthem neighborhood is pleased because instead of sod, Carrie chose high-end artificial turf.
How important is water conservation to you?
Very conscientious of water conservation. And we all lived through, the horrible fires of Colorado last year.
To be clear, this isn't your childhood putt-putt green.
They've made great improvements in making them natural looking.
Modern artificial turf is more realistic than ever. Several people have already installed it in this neighborhood.
Please remove artificial turf.
So Carrie was shocked to get this letter from her HOA.
Protect the aesthetic appeal and property values of the neighborhood.
The HOA denied Armstrong's appeal, threatening fines of $10 a day if the turf wasn't torn out. Plus, she wouldn't be allowed in the rec center where she volunteers.
Some of these boards are being obnoxious and bullies, frankly.
State Representative Brianna Titone tells Contact Denver7 HOAs should be encouraging water conservation, not discouraging it.
We live here in Colorado, and water is a precious resource. Not a lot of people want just rocks in their backyard. They want to have a place for kids to play or for the dog to play in. And artificial turf is a really great alternative for that.
She's proposed a bill to prevent HOAs from banning artificial turf and is working on the larger issue. Most homeowners can't afford to take HOAs to court. Tone wants an affordable dispute resolution process through the state.
We want to make sure that people can settle those disputes, hopefully before they go to court, and save people a lot of money.
In an email to Contact Denver7, the Anthem Highlands Community Association declined comment, but after we reached out,
I'm glad they're acting.
Carrie got another letter. Now the HOA wants to see what happens with the proposed legislation. Their turf war paused. Carrie wants people to know that grass isn't always greener.
Many others that I've spoken to also want artificial turf for water conservation in their backyards. Things are changing in the community. The products are changing. It's time to make some changes and listen to your community and protect the environment at the same time.
We hear from a lot of you about HOAs, and we hear from a lot of you about security deposit problems. You might think if you put a deposit down on an apartment and don't get that apartment, you'd get your money back right away. One Denver man contacted Denver7 after finding out that's not always the case.
It looked great. Everything was beautiful.
On the outside,
It was downtown Denver.
picture-perfect apartments. But inside the Alexan on 20th,
I think it's pretty shady.
Gus Green says he got a different picture.
It seems extremely predatory, especially in a time like this.
His bank statements show he paid the application fee and a $250 deposit last month.
We found out pretty shortly after that I didn't qualify, somebody else got the apartment. So that was fine, that happened. And then I asked them to get my deposit back.
That's when the leasing agent messaged it would take 60 or so days to get his money back from corporate. So they took your money and then said you don't qualify and we already rented it.
Yes, exactly. I felt like my hands were tied. There was nothing I could do. These guys were bullying me.
He reached out to Contact Denver7 and we did some digging. Corporate is Cardinal Group, which owns and manages dozens of properties in Colorado and has an F rating with the Better Business Bureau. No one with Cardinal Group would talk on camera. Their offices on a secured floor. The CEO emailed that they follow Colorado guidelines for the return of deposits.
I think the landlord's a little confused.
Attorney Don Eby tells us since no lease was signed, statutes giving landlords 60 days to return deposits don't apply. But fighting in court
Is likely to take months, even though the tenant is obviously in the right.
What's the right thing to do?
Obviously, the right thing to do is to give them their money back on an expedited basis.
Cardinal Group's CEO later emailed that the deposit was processed and is being expedited.
Carbon copy, corporate, baloney.
Gus needs his money back now and wants to expose a corporate practice he says hurts people.
It's going to be tough. I have to wait a few more weeks until I get paid again so that I can apply somewhere else. I wonder how many people, they're just sitting on their deposits right now.
Gus tells me he got his deposit back right after we first shared his story. Contact Denver7 can't report on every bad guy out there, but we can keep warning you, watch out. This next story, though, shows the good news is the good guys are out there, too.
And then we'll just have to redo it.
Doing the right thing
Just cut it off, cap it.
isn't always easy.
Our purpose of airing our story was really focused on the criminal case and get a stop to this man.
Mike and Brenda Wagner made a tough choice to report contractor Dave Miller and his long list of companies. They paid him $180,000 last year to build an addition to their home before he disappeared.
And our money is gone, and our house is gone.
Since their story aired, Dave Miller still hasn't responded to Contact Denver7, but more and more former clients are reaching out.
We just don't want him doing it to anyone else.
Dave and Rebecca Jiven paid Miller $80,000 for several home projects last year. They say when the money ran out, so did he.
He will soak you as far as he can go with money, and when there's no more, he's going to be gone. And that's what he did to us. That's what he did to the Wagners.
Both families went to Douglas County detectives who tell Contact Denver7 this is still an open and active investigation, asking any victims to come forward.
My wife actually seen the story.
But others are also stepping up, electricians, drywallers, and contractors like Shane Lamberty, now volunteering to help the Wagners.
I don't know, it was laid on my heart by God. I mean, it's a kind of a godly thing.
It's been really nice.
Relief is something they weren't expecting when they came forward, something they hope for everyone doing the right thing.
There are still good people out there. I feel like all of this has given us hope that there's going to be an end to all of this.
It's one of the most common topics in our Contact 7 inbox, predatory towing from private lots.
It seems like they're holding our car hostage.
Contact Denver7 has been exposing the issue, and sometimes we can help turn the tables and make these companies toe the line.
You're getting your car back.
I have my car back. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I felt like I had done everything the towing company had told me to do.
Because of DMV delays, the state has requested leniency for expired registration. But Contact Denver7 discovered tow companies wandering parking lots across the Denver metro looking for reasons to tow. Now, Governor Polis is taking action. Would you consider placing restrictions on towing people because of expired plates?
Yeah, this should not be happening in Colorado. As you've exposed, this can be a racket. People have to pay hundreds of dollars just to get their car back. It's inappropriate, and we'll take whatever steps are necessary to make sure it doesn't occur in Colorado.
They said they weren't going to tow us, and they towed us.
Since Contact Denver7 started investigating, we've been inundated with similar stories, like Alec Duvall, towed while waiting for his DMV appointment.
Should this be happening?
You know, I understand them needing to tow certain vehicles out of there that are causing a problem or something like that. I don't think if you have an expired tag or expired plate, you're not causing a problem.
Sometimes tow companies do back down. Wyatts is now offering $20 refunds for overcharging in the last month. Once Karen proved her registration was displayed, they didn't charge her to get her car back, but she says the damage was already done.
I had to take time off of work to go get my car.
I'm Jaclyn Allen.
Now my car is being inspected for damage.
As we found out with another towing company, sometimes you don't need to go to the governor to get results.
Thank you guys so much.
Spoiler alert.
You're getting your car back.
This story has a happy ending.
Oh my goodness.
But when it started last summer...
Oh, okay. So on June 28th, I had a flat tire parked in my carport after driving a little bit on it.
Things went from bad to worse.
Went out the next morning for work, had a boot. The next day, my Jeep was gone. They had unlawfully towed it.
A Denver judge agreed with Danae Attaway, ordering Park It Right, aka Towing Done Right, to pay up and give back her car.
They refused to follow the order and return my car, yes.
This is Jaclyn Allen with Denver7.
That's when Contact Denver7 got involved.
Can we talk to you for just a second?
Park It Right and owner Joel Perry wouldn't talk, so we decided to show up for virtual court.
I think you guys being present this morning for this bond appearance hearing was huge.
Park It Right's attorney finally agreed to return Danae's car that day if she had a company to pick it up.
I felt she'd been wronged, and I was just trying to show her that, hey, all tow companies aren't the same.
Red Wildham with Red's Towing had already reached out to Contact Denver7, volunteering to pick up Danae's car immediately.
I'm so grateful.
After 7 months,
I'm so grateful.
This is the ending Danae was hoping for.
I have my car back. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
The sequel, though, Park It Right plans to appeal.
I really appreciate you guys shining the light that you have on their really ugly predatory practices.
With more miles of toll road being added to Colorado every year, billing mistakes are inevitable. One Denver man said he could prove his E470 toll bill was wrong, but no one at the toll authority was listening until Contact Denver7 stepped in. E470 may be Colorado's most traveled toll road.
This is the bill I received.
But one driver knows he didn't travel it.
Here is the date in question.
Not just because he doesn't get up that early.
I'm an old bartender.
But because the car in question doesn't start.
Absolutely nothing. Since December, it's had a bad battery.
Thank you for calling Express Toll.
But Jeff Marr's efforts to dispute the toll,
I was on hold forever.
Were taking a toll.
It's like running to a wall because you can't get any information, you can't talk to anybody, you can't do anything.
He decided to just pay, then saw 2 more charges coming his way.
And I've seen that Contact 7's always been helpful.
So we reached out to E470.
Oh, hold on, I'm getting a call from them right now.
While they wouldn't speak on camera.
Hi, is this Mr. Marr?
Yes, it is.
They did speak to Jeff.
I am going to refund you right now.
Good.
Let me apologize.
In a statement to Contact Denver7, a spokeswoman says the accuracy on license plate reads is 98%. But this was a misread plate. From now on, that plate will get moved to a sensitive plate queue for review by a person. But E470 refused Contact Denver7's open records request for pictures of the misread plate, citing customer privacy.
I really don't think that I should have had to call Denver7, who've been remarkable in helping me with this, to get a response from you.
Actually, this is the third time since 2019 Contact Denver7 has stepped up to help people, saying E470 wrongfully charged them and wouldn't listen.
When I presented my information, they're like, well, that's too bad.
Not only are we not going to help you, we're going to basically close your account.
I don't think anybody should be on hold for 30 minutes without an option. Hey, we'll call you back, and leave a number.
Jeff says other drivers double-check statements. Fighting E470 could drive you crazy.
I think they need to get their ducks in a row to avoid any kind of foul language that I want to use right now.
It's hard when any appliance doesn't work the way it's supposed to, but when you pay top dollar for a fridge, it's like rubbing salt in a wound when it breaks. How many times have you had to call repair people?
So we've called repair people 3+ times.
Have they fixed the problem?
They've not fixed the problem.
After the break, the problem owners of one refrigerator brand have been reporting for years and how Contact Denver7 is helping them unite. For hundreds of Colorado storage units, Contact Denver7 found the auction clock is ticking.
Everything I had. Everything I had was in there.
Since we first reported on people unemployed in the pandemic struggling to pay storage rent, hundreds have commented. Some, this should be like evictions. There needs to be a stop to this. Others, you sign a contract. It's a service. The big-hearted want to buy a unit or two and return it to the owner. Others ask us, why aren't you on the doorsteps of our leaders demanding solutions? We did go straight to the top, asking Governor Polis if, like some other governors, he would consider a moratorium on storage unit auctions.
We, of course, want to look at predatory practices across other industries, including storage, to make sure that nobody is taking advantage of consumers in their time of need.
Contact Denver7 has since learned there is some help. Denver Human Services tells us they have an emergency assistance program to pay storage fees for Denver County residents experiencing homelessness.
It goes deeper than just stuff.
Realtor Marty Fury lost furniture and family heirlooms when her storage unit was auctioned with no notification after she paid her rent. After Contact Denver7 reported her story, she says the CEO is offering restitution.
I am grateful to Channel 7 because you guys really were the catalyst to get them to respond at all. Up until that point, I had gotten nothing.
She'll never replace what she lost, which is why she worries about the ticking clock for so many others.
Especially coming out of a year of COVID, closed businesses, lost jobs. Things have to change with the laws and how things are handled with storage places.
People have been complaining about several models of Samsung refrigerators for years now. You might think Samsung would have fixed the problem, but as viewers who contacted Denver7 have shown us, you'd be wrong.
The ice maker is off to the side here.
6 months after Tanya Petzley bought her $2,500 Samsung refrigerator.
As you can see, it built up a lot of extra ice within there.
The ice maker broke for the first time. How many times have you had to call repair people?
So we've called repair people 3+ times.
Have they fixed the problem?
They've not fixed the problem.
Defrosting her fridge with a hairdryer every week, the Fort Collins mom thought she was alone. But a class action lawsuit has been in the works since 2017, reporting the same defects, leaking, over-freezing, temperature control problems.
And that's when I started to figure out that it wasn't just me that got a lemon, and that's why I reached out to you.
It had completely frozen over. It was a solid block of ice.
Contact Denver7 has heard from dozens of Samsung owners on social media.
We've had it fixed 3 times, and I need to call them back out again.
Now, a Facebook group calling for a Samsung refrigerator recall has more than 41,000 members.
It's a defect.
Group moderator Tom O'Shea recommends recording everything, complaining to the New Jersey Better Business Bureau, and fighting for a refund.
I got my money 2 years ago. I hate seeing people being bullied by a company like this.
In a statement to Contact Denver7, Samsung writes, "We stand behind all of our products, including our refrigerators, and want to ensure our customers are completely satisfied. In reference to Tanya writing, upon arrival, the technician determined Miss Petzley had unfortunately damaged the unit beyond repair. As a result, the technician was unable to service the unit.
Voicemail from the repair shop.
Tanya says she has proof that's not true. The technician never arrived, only looked at photos and left a voicemail.
It does look like that is not repairable.
Posts on social media show some are getting partial refunds from Samsung. The company says call their 1-800 number. But for those frozen out, a new fridge may be the only way to keep their cool.
I think Samsung needs to stand behind their products and admit that they should have recalled this a long time ago.
The pandemic has been a source of frustration for so many reaching out to Contact Denver7 for help. For example, getting your name changed can be a hassle, even in the best of circumstances. In a pandemic, it is just about impossible, and that's what led one new bride to Contact Denver7 for help. For some people, a trip down the aisle also means a much less romantic trip to the Social Security Administration for a name change.
I was hoping that I'd be able to drop off my documents.
This Lakewood woman,
that is not an option,
asked us to protect her privacy because of her ex-husband. She happily remarried last summer and started the name change process.
I'm hoping that you guys can help.
Because of the pandemic, Social Security Administration offices are closed to most in-person visits, requiring people to mail their original marriage certificate and driver's license or passport. No copies allowed.
They said that it's about a 5-week turnaround time, which is a really long time to be without your driver's license. But mailing in those really important documents is a bad idea because I was afraid that they'd get lost in the mail.
We found it's a valid concern with recent reports of the Social Security Administration misplacing documents or sending them back to the wrong people. Agents telling people, just get a certified copy from the DMV.
She says they've been getting hundreds of phone calls.
Only one problem. Colorado's DMV has been inundated with requests, but the agency does not offer certified copies of Colorado driver's licenses. Why did you reach out to Contact Denver7?
Maybe you guys could help or at least bring light to the problem.
Contact Denver7 did reach out to the Social Security Administration. A spokeswoman tells us they prioritize in-person visits for people who need updates because of income, resources, or medical care. Still, they said they will reach out about this specific case, but that doesn't answer the larger issue. After tying the knot, getting tied in red tape.
A lot of people have gotten married in the last year, and so if you wanted to change your name, you just can't.
A quick follow-up. After Contact Denver7 started making calls, the Social Security Administration promised to get her documents back in just days, and she was able to change her name at last. Thank you for joining us for this look at how Contact Denver7 is getting results in our community. If you know of something we should look into, let us know. Call us or email us at contact7@thedenverchannel.com. I'm Jaclyn Allen. For all of us here at Denver7, we promise to keep fighting for you.